Are you ready to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully? Then let go of whatever no longer serves you to take action now on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. With Erica's E3 approach, equipping, empowering, and enlightening yourself so you can be yourself for yourself. Get ready and get rooted to live a life without regrets, without what ifs, without should haves, and especially without empty feelings from a life unexplored. This hit show helps you build powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go. Get fearlessly ready and powerfully rooted in your yes with your host, Erica Gifford Mills, and be fearless about your more and stand in your yes. Now on Get Rooted Radio.
Welcome, everyone. I am Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. A big shout out to Moxie, my producer today. How are you doing today, Moxie?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Well, we could, but who would listen, right? No. But I am just loving that we had a nice long holiday, and we are officially, well, I shouldn't say officially, in the midst of getting into the summertime. And what better time for the episode that we're about to have today, which is titled Hidden Potential, the Art and Science to Achieving Excellence. My guest today is Dr. Val Margarit, and she's going to share about how we can unlock our hidden potential and achieve excellence, no matter where you are starting. But a bit about my guest before we jump right in. Dr. Val Margarit is an award-winning educator, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and coach on a mission to empower people to achieve their full potential. With a doctorate in educational leadership and degrees in sociology and political science, she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to her work. Born to parents without formal education, she has defied the odds, embarking on a journey across the world at the age of 16 to pursue her dreams with nothing but determination and strong work ethics. As a renowned educator and leadership coach, Dr. Margarit shares her insights and expertise on unlocking human potential, cultivating a growth mindset, and embracing a values-driven leadership for work and for life. With a passion for inspiring people worldwide to become their own leaders and live with purpose, she is truly dedicated to empowering others to pursue their dreams fearlessly. And if you've ever heard my opener, we want to live without regret and live fearlessly to obtain our more. Dr. Margarit is the founder of Val Margarit Coaching and Consulting at valmargarit.com, where she offers transformative courses and leadership coaching programs to help people with the tools, the insights, and the strategies necessary to excel in today's dynamic world. She lives by example, she surely does, and she underscores the significance of prioritizing health and well-being as fundamental pillars of success. Please help me welcome to our show today, Dr. Val. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica, for that introduction. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here today.
Well, I am glad to have you. As I said, it's been a number of years since we were in each other's physical company. But I have loved to watch your journey on everything you are doing. And, I know I'm very honored to have met you and known you. And I think our guests will be in for a real treat today. And the first segment that we really want to jump into and talk about is on education empowerment. So let's just start. What is and why is self-empowerment crucial to education and then in turn life?
Yes. So once again, thank you so much for having me here today. I also want to thank your producer and our guest, our audience for tuning in, or perhaps for watching us later today or at some point in the future. Yes, education empowerment. As you may know, I am very passionate about education. Obviously, I'm an educator. And the reason I became an educator is because my parents, my mother specifically, didn't have an opportunity to pursue an education. And sometimes we look at people without a formal education as somehow a mishap, or that they were not able to complete an education. But that's exactly the opposite. We need to understand their background. We need to understand their culture. We need to understand their environments, and also the moment in which they lived, to understand whether they had the opportunity to pursue an education or not. And so for me, education is power because it allows us to make decisions, to make choices, to be in control of our lives. And that, to have a sense of what empowerment is all about, it begins in our schools. It begins with education, right? That's kind of like the first step. But of course, before students get to school, they have their teachers, their parents as their first teachers. They have environment, they have the socialization process. And so before they go to school, they always have a set of beliefs, right, that works for them. So then when they go to school, they really realize who they are, what life is about. Hopefully, they'll have those opportunities to really understand how they can become empowered people, so they can take control over their lives, make decisions, positive decisions and choices, so they can achieve whatever they want in their personal life and professional life.
I think that is such a good distinction to make. And I think we all know it, but we forget it sometimes, is that we all come from different upbringings, right? Even in the same family, depending on your age gap, we all have a different upbringing, whether that's with our parents, our grandparents, extended family, maybe not even a family that we are blood related to. We were adopted or not adopted, or we lived in a group home. And we have to understand that even if our environments were very similar, it's also very different. And I think being aware of that, we can be better in our communications, and which is a very effective tool, in any environment. I do have questions on some of the things that you brought up, but at first, I want you to explain to us and tell us your story of you going to school, right? When you first came to the States, and then how you became an educator and a leader. Give the audience a little bit of that background, because I think that helps to get me into some of my next questions I want to ask you. But your story is very fascinating.
Yes. Thank you, Erica, for the question. Sure. So I grew up in a village of 300 people. And my childhood was amazing. In a way, it was amazing to me because that was the perspective. That's all we knew, right? Maybe from some other people, it wasn't so, but that was our reality. That was our perspective. So I grew up without indoor plumbing, and without with a TV with 2 channels, black and white, right? And strong work ethics, right? High expectations. So my parents did a phenomenal job, of course. I didn't think so at the time, but they did a great job raising me and having these high standards and expectations of myself to do my work, to do my schoolwork, to do well in school, and also to take care of the farm work. And at 16 years old, of course, during this time, I figured out that school. I rather go to school than to the farm. Nothing wrong with farming. Obviously, that's where I come from, and I take great pride on that. And I have a high respect for farmers everywhere. They are the hardest working people on the earth, right? But I wanted to do something else with my life. I discovered different worlds through books, and I was motivated, and I had the skills, thanks to my parents, to leave my family, to leave everything I knew behind at 16 years old. And so at 16 years old, if you will, I empowered myself, although I don't think I knew what empowerment was at the time. But certainly I left everything I knew behind. And that takes courage and determination. And there is also a fear that you have to overcome, of course. And ever since, I never looked back, as they say. I made it to the United States in 1996. And one day, my first job, by the way, in the United States, I was 26 years old. And my first job was in in a store, selling merchandise as a salesperson, right? And most of the money I was earning was from commission. That's how it was. I don't know if it's still like that.
Yeah.
And I remember I made money. I mean, I was just blown away that I could make money so easily, really. My English, I have to tell you, was pretty good. I came in with a pretty good English, which is, I don't want to digress, but I will point out that in Romania, languages were part of the curricula in the school, which in the United States is not. And I think that's a pity, because knowing other languages allows us to understand other people, to understand other cultures, and to perhaps break down stereotypes and all these troubles that we have in the world today. And so one day, Erica, and that's when my life changed forever. And that was the first step in my transformation in the United States. Of course, the first step was leaving my village, leaving my village and working in a factory at 5 a.m. so I could finish my high school at night. Now, this is powerful, because when I share this with my students, who all they want is an A without doing much work, I share I share my story. And so, Erica, one day I was at the hotel. That was my next job as a hotel receptionist. And so one day, this couple walks in to check in for a room, and they asked me, "Whoa, where are you from? I hear an accent. Where are you from?" And so I said, "Romania." And they said, "Oh, yeah, I knew it. You are my people." And I was so curious, what do you mean? Well, I am from Bulgaria. They were in their late 50s. And he was from Bulgaria. She was American, Sharon and Dimitri, my mentors for 26, 27 years now. And so, long story short, they have been very instrumental to who I am today, along with my parents, because they showed me what I could do if I understand hard work ethics, determination, resilience, all of the characteristics that we need to have to be empowered and to live an empowering life. So I went to school, of course. Yeah.
I love that, because we all need that person or people, right? And for somebody to hear that and want to help somebody else, I mean, that to me is tremendous, and what we should model after, right? Is that we've been helped, let's help somebody else. It's the whole pay it forward, right? And
Yes.
And I think that is wonderful that you definitely experienced that. So we know you had the courage to leave your village because you wanted more. You finished your high school, and then you went on to college.
Yes, I went on to college at Miami-Dade Community College. I'm very proud of the community colleges around the world, definitely in the United States, because they give people a chance, especially people like me, or people from underprivileged backgrounds, people who don't have enough resources, people who need additional help. And they have this open door policy, and I think it's fantastic. So I went to Miami-Dade Community College. I finished my community college, my associates there. Then I went on to Orlando, Florida, to the University of Central Florida for my bachelor's and master's, both in sociology and political science. From there, I took a little break, and then I came back stronger than ever and continued my education. I said, you know what? Why not go all the way? And so I went back to school and pursued a doctorate degree in educational leadership. And that has been just incredibly powerful and empowering, because I have been able to, as you said, to pay it forward, to empower students every day. Ever since, 2000, and when did I start teaching? 2006, 2007. The countless of people that I have been able to inspire and to motivate. And I know that from their reflections, from their testimonials, it makes me work even harder to do what I do, for example, here with you right now, because people, as you said, Erica, people need support, people need motivation, people need a shoulder to lean on, especially when life is challenging. And we have to reassure them that, challenges are just learning opportunities. There is nothing really we cannot handle. We know that. We know that because we have the history to look back on, and we know people who have done it. And I'm like right here in front of you, so there is nothing to worry about as long as you are ready and committed to put the work in. If you do that, then the world is yours, because it's a journey, and you are in the driver's seat.
And we need to push ourselves to do just that. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about unlocking the human potential. But before we go, Dr. Val, tell folks how they can reach you.
Yes, sure. So my website is valmargarit.com. And then from there, everything is there, including resources for our guests, for our audience, courses, transformational coaching programs. Everything is at valmargarit.com. Now, of course, if they Google my name, they will find my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Dr. Val Margarit. I also have an Instagram at Dr. Val Margarit. So I think the easiest way is Google my name and get everything, or go to my website, valmargarit.com.
Thank you so much. You are listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any portion of today's episode, you can catch it on getrootedradio.com. That's getrootedradio.com. Don't forget to subscribe online to receive the latest news, events, specials, and words of encouragement. Go to getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Dr. Val Margarit. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Erica. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really enjoying this.
Good. So during the last segment, we talked about educational empowerment and setting those building blocks for success. This segment, we're going to be really diving into unlocking the human potential. So in many of my episodes, listeners, I know you have heard this, but we need to do that mindset reset. We need to really have a positive mindset and have that growth mindset. But for you, Dr. Val, how does one's mindset influence their ability to unlock their potential? And if we are stuck in a certain mindset, how do we step away from that to make that shift from the fixed to the growth mindset?
Yes, definitely. I think the mindset is the answer, unlocks a world of opportunities. If we have the courage to really look within and understand ourselves. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about mindset and what it is and how can we unlock our potential. So you mentioned, Erica, growth mindset and fixed mindset. So with growth mindset, it's an own learning process of learning process, ongoing, long life learning process. And so how do we develop a growth mindset? Now, we have to go back to the way we were socialized and the way we were educated. That's where we have to go, because we need to make the decision that we are not going to find any of these answers outside in the outer world. Everything we need, all the answers that we are seeking, they are within ourselves. So we need to begin this exploration, this discovery journey, to understand what blocks us from achieving whatever we want. And that could be the fixed mindset, right? Fixed mindset are people who believe that their skills or their talents are innate, and no matter how hard they're going to work, nothing is going to change. You probably know people like that. I definitely know people like that, and definitely have a lot of students walking into my classrooms with that mindset, which makes me really happy because it's an opportunity for me to transform their lives, right? To explain that this is not permanent, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So if people believe that no matter how hard they work, nothing is going to change, they are not going to put forth their best. They're not going to work hard. They're not going to apply themselves, right? Because they don't believe anything will change. Whereas with the growth right? Growth mindset. People with a growth mindset, like ourselves, we believe that every day we can become better. My philosophy is, every day I'm better, at least 1%. Today, I must be better than yesterday. I don't have any competitions, right? We are over that, right? We outgrown that sort of mentality where my self-worth is coming from what people think of me, right? That's something we need to work on, and that's part of the growth mindset. So that's where we begin. We begin with self-discovery and self-understanding and exploration to really pinpoint, where is this coming from? Why do I have these obstacles? Why do I think, right, that if I work hard enough, nothing is going to change? So once we unlock that mystery, and usually it's our socialization process, right? It could be our parents. If our parents didn't have an education or didn't believe in education or didn't believe that hard work will amount to anything, then we grow up to believe the same, to become and believe the same things, right? So that is the distinction, right? Fixed mindset, growth mindset. Now, we can have everyone with a fixed mindset. And I want our audience to understand that if you have challenges in your life, if you have obstacles, take a step back to reflect so that you understand, why do you have these obstacles, right? Why do you have these challenges? And then figure out how you can overcome them. Now, of course, you have to make the decision that fixed mindset is not useful to you, right? We have to transcend to the growth mindset. And that's where the journey begins. That's where the fun begins. Because life is a journey. It's a journey of discovery, of transformation, of exploration. And that means you will have to have a growth mindset so you can learn, so you can grow, so you can achieve your unlimited potential, as I call it. And the hidden potential, Erica, just to touch on that, since it's our main topic, we have so much hidden potential that we don't know because it's not in our consciousness, you see. And that's why we need teachers, we need coaches, we need people to help us bring that hidden potential out. We need people to explain to us in a way that we understand about the hidden potential. And the distinction there is consciousness and unconsciousness. If we are not conscious about it, then it's not part of our reality. We don't know anything about it. It's not who we are. So again, we need to go back, right, to begin that transformation and self-identity, self-exploration process to really understand where we're coming from and how powerful we could be if we unlock that potential.
I think you made a good point, because some folks listening might be saying, oh, it's just that easy. And honestly, folks, it really is that easy. It just takes time. So if you're looking for easy and instant gratification, yeah, you're going to be disappointed. But that growth mindset is truly, as Dr. Val said, is that belief that we can improve, but it's going to take effort, learning, and persistence. So just because you change your mindset for a moment doesn't mean you're going to get instant results. You have to want it bad enough to then work for it, and have that self-awareness that you aren't perfect, that you learn from your criticism, that you are really committed to that self-improvement, because that is what growth mindset is all about. It's that ability that we have, that we're going to put the effort in. We're going to really do work on ourselves and be honest with ourselves to correct any of those failures, those challenges. And guess what, folks? We all have them. We aren't perfect. We won't do things right the first time. We will fail, and we will fail, and we will fail. But that means you're trying. If we learn from those failures, we can begin to really open up and discover those full potential. But if we don't want it bad enough, and if we don't take the time and put the effort in, you won't get there. So when we're saying it's as easy as flipping that switch from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, that switch can be easy to flip. It just takes some time to see those results. So I think we want to make sure that our listeners hear that. it's not that it's a hard process, it's just takes time.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have to have that adaptability and resilience. So what would you say are some of those common myths or misconceptions about that human potential?
Yeah, the misconception, there are so many misconceptions, of course. And some of them are, for example, that, you can't really change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. I am who I am. Sometimes we hear people say, I am who I am, take it or live it, right? That sort of thing. Yep. And I think that's, yes. And I think that's unfortunate because people with that kind of mindset or that kind of belief system are not going to have an enjoyable and fulfilling and meaningful life because they are their own obstacle. Instead of saying, you know what, that's it. Today is the day that I'm going to change my life. And I am going to look for opportunities and strategies and tools that will allow me to do that. I mean, after all, Erica, we have so many role models in the United States and in the world who have done it. So there is no reason why anybody who's struggling today cannot do it. It may be simple to switch, to understand conceptually, but of course it's not easy. It takes work. And that is the beauty of it. We want to overcome challenges because on the other side is our best self. On the other side is our potential. How else are we going to develop ourselves without doing the work? Right? I mean, a 9-to-5 job and coming home and doing every day the same thing and waiting for the retirement time, that's not a great life that's fulfilling and meaningful and purposeful. And so at any point in our lives, it's never too late, as I said, we can change our lives for the better, one step at a time. So that is a misconception. That is, it's too late. It's too easy for you to say, I don't have resources. I don't have enough money. I don't have a car. Yes, I hear you. And let me tell you, I have experienced all of them myself, which is why I'm speaking from a first person experience. And, I speak my truth. I live my truth. I breathe my truth. And if it's possible for me, then certainly it's possible for you. But of course, as Erica said, and as we said earlier, you have to make that decision. And that's what empowerment is about. You see, no matter what we talk about, empowerment comes in because empowerment is about how you feel about yourself, right? Do you feel empowered to make these decisions? Like, for example, to go from a fixed to a growth mindset, to take on some challenges, to go in and apply yourself out there in the world. That's empowerment. So if you are not empowered to make these decisions, there are a lot of things you can do. And that begins with understanding who you are, what you want, what your values are, and then come up with some goals and work on them every day. And that's how you are going to watch yourself transform from day one to day two to day, the infinite day, for as long as you live. Because the growth mindset is a lifelong process, journey.
It truly is. I mean, it's the whole self-development, and you will always have the ability to grow, to get better, to do something that you've always wanted to do. And learning from those different, like you said, changing it from a failure to an opportunity. And just really having that different phrase can be better and can help you get over that hump. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about something that you mentioned a little bit earlier. It's the tools for lifelong success. But before we go, Dr. Val, tell listeners how they can learn more about you and your services.
Yes, I would love to. So listeners, please visit my website at valmargarit.com. There you will find everything you want and need. Courses, transformational coaching. By the way, courses about confidence, which we all need to become empowered. Course about goals, which we all need so we can achieve our goals and live a meaningful life. You also find me on social media. If you Google my name, everything will pop up from my Facebook page to my Instagram and LinkedIn. I would love to interact with some of you. So please come by and say hello and let me know if we can help you further.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Don't forget to visit getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay of this episode, sign up for helpful tips, and learn about upcoming events. That's getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Dr. Val Margarit. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica, for having me. I'm having a ball. Thank you.
Yeah. And I know it's early morning for you. It's later afternoon for us, but it's early for you to be on. So I appreciate your time. And I've loved the last two segments, right? We talked about educational empowerment and unlocking the human potential. So this segment, though, I think is going to be even better, listeners, because we're going to talk about the tools for lifelong success, which Dr. Val mentioned in the last segment, that purpose, happiness, and well-being. So let's really kind of jump right in. I think there are a lot of habits and practices that successful people have, and they adopt to maintain those lifelong tools that they need. But before we get into that, how do we really prioritize self-care and well-being while pursuing those things that we want to do? Because a lot of times people are going hardcore, right? They're going, and then they get burnt out, for lack of better terms, right? So how do we do that? And I hate, not that I hate work-life balance, but also not even work-life balance, but work-life alignment, where we're aligning not only our lives for that self-care, but that alignment of we're doing it so it doesn't feel like work. I mean, don't get me wrong, folks. Work's always going to feel like work, right? If I could be a multimillionaire and do just whatever I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, I would be doing a lot of the same things. However, I wouldn't have to worry about the money behind it. So there's always that. But I think how do we get that alignment in our lives and really prioritize taking care of ourselves at the same time?
Yes. So important. Thank you, Erica. So important to prioritize our self-care and well-being. So let's see. Let's go back a little bit to purpose and meaningful work and goals. So depends where you live, depends where you went to school, where you were socialized. You may have a different belief system about what success means to you, right? What kind of work you should have, and all of those things, which most of the time we are influenced by the society's expectations, schooling perhaps that emphasizes, one major over another, one degree over another. And the arching point is, making more money and more money and more money. Nothing wrong with money. We all love money. We need to have money. Without financial empowerment, as I call it in my book, we can't really take care of our well-being, of our health and our happiness, because we are worrying about paying the bills, right? So we need to have financial literacy, financial empowerment to be able to take care of all of that. So that's where I will begin. In order to have a balanced life, we need to know our priorities. There is no question about it, right? So we need to understand what are our priorities, because if it's a priority for you, you're going to get it done. So if your health and fitness and well-being and happiness, if these are important to you, then you show it. You show it in your behavior. You show it in your habits. So it's going to be on your calendar. You make time for it. You don't say, oh, I don't have time to work out, or I don't have time to meditate. Well, if you don't have time to work out or to meditate, then you don't have time, or you don't value your health and fitness enough to make it a priority. So you see, we are going full circle. So this is what I would say. First is to know yourself. You need to figure out who you are. When are we going to do this? Because unfortunately in schools, right, we're not going to find this out in schools. They're not going to take out to teach us unless you are a philosophy major or psychology psychology major. Then you will have perhaps opportunities to find out and to really go deep in understanding your socialization process and who has impacted you to be who you are today, and what kind of steps you need to make to change some of the things that you are not working for you anymore. So that's the first step, know yourself, okay? The second step is priorities. What are your priorities? And these are aligned with your values. You need to know your values. I am a big advocate for values, values-based leadership, values-based life, because at the end of the day, that's who we are. We live our values, right? I don't need to know your values. I just look at you and see, what you're doing. You watching TV, what kind of work you have, where you spend your time and money. Those are your values, because that's what you value. And these are not, fixed, as in the fixed mindset, right? We can change. And that's why it's important, excuse me, that the first step is to know who you are. Because if you don't, you may value things that other people want you to value, as opposed to your own values. So that's the first step, right? Know yourself. Second, know your values, and then priorities, because you prioritize based on your values. One of my values is well-being and fitness and happiness, right? And so that's my first priority. Why? Because that's part of my foundation. If I'm not feeling well, if I'm not feeling strong, if I'm not healthy, if I don't have the energy and the enthusiasm to get up every morning and begin my day, being excited about it, then nothing is going to work. I'm going to go through my day, like angry perhaps, or sad, and I'm going to be a reactionary. I'm going to react to everything that's happening around me, even though I don't have control over it. We don't want that. We want control. Once again, empowerment, right? We want to control our lives. We want to control our choices, our decisions, and our emotions. So we don't react and waste energy for things that do not matter. Okay, so what did we say? Know yourself, values, priorities, and goals. That's what you need. And then, for example, in my coaching practice, Erica, and even in my classes that I teach, leadership education, I teach doctoral students who are professionals in their own right and pursue a doctorate degree to become leaders at a next level. I really talk about the goals, right? The goals that we need to have, and the priorities, and all of these things, because once we know our goals, that's our life, right? We can arrange our life around our goals, and that Wheel of Life coaching tool that I use in my practice and in my classes. That's a very simple coaching tool that our listener and anybody who's interested in taking their life from where it is to the next level and achieve greatness, that's the one tool that I can recommend, and begin using it today. What that tool does, Erica, is taking a look at your life today, at every area of your life that's important to you. Right? It's like a wheel, right? A wheel with different areas of your life. And you can name these areas of your life that are important to you. Certainly health is there. I mean, who doesn't want to be healthy, right? Health is there, finances is there, relationships, family, right? Work, all of these things that are important to you, that are part of your life, are on that wheel. And then you give a number to each one. How satisfied are you with each area of your life? Right? So let's say, for example, health. How satisfied are you with health? We all know that health is a long life journey. Health, we work on our health and our well-being every day, not when we feel like it. Because if we do it when we feel like it, it means that it's not aligned with our purpose and our goal. We do it because somebody else says we do it, or we don't really understand the meaning. The meaning is that we want to be happy and healthy and live a long and happy, successful life. So that wheel of the coaching tool, Wheel of Life, it's a powerful and empowering tool that our listener can start using it today, so they can take back their life and take action on some of the things they need to do.
And what you said there, I think, was really important, is that if it's our passion and purpose and we want it, we don't just do it sometimes. And it's also really important to be true to yourself. And you wouldn't just cancel an appointment that your child had. You wouldn't cancel an appointment with, maybe if you live in a corporate world, with your CEO. Well, you are the CEO of your own life. You are the parent of your life, right? You can't cancel those important appointments on yourself. So one of those, I schedule things. So I will put on my calendar, work out. Not that I need a reminder to work out, but now my calendar is blocked and that's my designated time. And if I wouldn't cancel on a doctor or another professional or my child or somebody else, why am I canceling on myself? And there are, we joke sometimes, there's just never enough hours in the day. Okay, let's look at it. How many times did we scroll through social media for something? Right. How much time did we spend watching TV? How much time did we do this? And when you start looking at that, you're like, holy cow, I've had plenty of time to do this. I chose not to. So if I chose not to, is it that important to me? Or am I just being lazy? And I think that's one thing that it is, like you said, what is that passion and purpose, and going forward to making it happen, because you are the one who has to make it happen. It's not relying on somebody else to do that, because we all have fast-paced, stressful environments, because that's unfortunately the way of the world. It's instant gratification. Everything's so busy. Everything's running. We need to take that time for that happiness, because happiness isn't the next thing. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I buy that new house. I'll be happy when I get that new job. Don't wait to be happy. When you're working towards something as a goal or as a aspiration, that's when you celebrate those victories on your way. But if you're waiting for the next thing to be happy, the wait's going to continue, because then you need something else. And then you need something else. And I think that is really important for folks to remember.
The other thing that's equally important, if not more so, is that if our work environment is toxic, for example, as many people say when you look at the research. In fact, I just posted in my newsletter that I sent last week, I talked about this. If the work environment it's toxic, right? If you don't enjoy going to work, right? If you don't get up, every morning excited to go into work, and over 60% of people don't, we have choices. We can make a decision about that and start slowly by analyzing the work environment. What makes it toxic? Usually it's the boss or the manager or things like that. Well, get out. Have a plan in place. It's going to take time, of course, but make a plan in place, put a plan together, create a SMART goal that, let's say, in 3 months, I am going to change my job. And what that looks for you is that beginning today, you are going to put your CV together. Every day, you are going to send out 10 applications, and then you're going to get interviews, and you are going to interview. And every day, you are going to work towards getting a better job. Why? Because you believe in yourself, right? You have a growth mindset now. Now you are empowered to make your own decisions. So as an empowered person, you don't just stay in a toxic environment. You remove yourself from there. And you do that just as I outlined. You have to work for it. You need a plan, you need a strategy, because you have to believe you deserve better. Otherwise, you're going to stay there as 60% of the people in the workforce being miserable and unhappy. And you know what? I believe you deserve better. And you can do it because we have the potential. We know people have done it. I've done it. I removed myself from many different toxic environments because my life is my own to live. And I had to learn how to control my emotion, how to manage my emotions, how to manage my values, my goals, so that I can be aligned and have a great life. Not every day is great, but you know what? When it's not, that's a learning opportunity for me. And, it's beautiful. Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect way to end this segment. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss the pillars for building the life you want. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any of the information during the last segments, go to getrootedradio.com to listen to the replay. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for tips and special events and pricing for upcoming coaching sessions at getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Dr. Val Margarit. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Erica.
So tell listeners how they can learn more about you and your services and maybe reach out for more information.
Certainly. valmargarit.com. At my website, you will find information, everything you need about empowerment, about success, about really building a great life, the pillars for a great life that we are going to talk about today, also about well-being and happiness and meditation. So valmargarit.com would be the center point, if you will. Also, my book, Why Not You? How to Become an Empowered Woman is available everywhere. You can check that out. I also have another book, The Successful Student Mindset. That's primarily for students. It's also everywhere. And of course, social media. I mean, if you Google my name, Val Margarit, my social media will come up from Facebook, Dr. Val Margarit page, and Instagram at Dr. Val Margarit, LinkedIn Val Margarit. So I am easily found. So thank you so much.
Great. Now you do have some different courses out there as well that folks can check out.
Yes, Erica, I'm so excited about these courses, and they're phenomenal based on the testimonials I get from the people in it as we speak. So the first one that I wanted to remind everybody is the ultimate guide to confidence for women. This is for women. This is a phenomenal course, and this is precisely the course that people who may not feel empowered, right? People who are in transition from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, or perhaps they are not confident with themselves in making choices and decisions, assertiveness, and that sort of thing. So that's the course for them. The other one is about goal mastery, the complete guide to goal mastery. It's really about how to live a great life. It's not just about goals. And I was thinking about that and changing that title because it really walks you from the beginning to building your life together. And then the other one is values-based leadership course. And that's all about living your values and finding your purpose, whether you are a leader or work for a leader. I believe we are all leaders because before we lead, we have to lead ourselves. And then I have several coaching programs for people to check out. And, if they have any questions, please reach out to me via email or social media. I would love to hear from you.
Great. So now again, that's valmargarit.com. That's VALMARGARIT.com. And you do also have a special discount for folks and a coupon that they can take a look at.
Yes. The information, I have a free resource page. And they can go there and they can download these resources. They're free. They don't even have to sign up for my programs or make an account. All they need is an email. And we have a special discount for your audience alone. And I believe that's about 15 or 20%. I can look it up before we leave today. And they can enter that discount code at the checkout.
Awesome. So definitely check out her page. There are so many wonderful tools out there. So during this last segment, and I think this will be a great segment for folks to, how do I get to the next level, right? How do I get that? So we're talking about the pillars to really build the life we want, right? And that could be different for you than for me, from, the person down the street. So what are the key pillars of a fulfilling life? And really, how do we create that overall well-being and happiness?
Yes. Thank you, Erica. As you said, Erica, it's different for every person, right? Because we are unique. And that's why we need to take the time to reflect, right? And become self-aware of who we are and what we want in life. Who are you? What do you want? Are you happy? Why are you not happy? What goals do you want to achieve? All of these questions must be answered in order for us to build a great life. It's just like a house, right? Before we build a house, we have to have a plan, and we have to think about a lot of things. I think it's a huge project to put a house together. And we can use that analogy to really understand how we can actually build a great life, because we have to build it. We have to pick and choose the ingredients, if you will, or the materials of the project, just like with a house, right? So first, we need a strong foundation. If the foundation is not strong, the house is going to crumble. The same thing with our life. If our foundation is not strong, what's going to happen? We're going to change our mind every day, because every day we go on social media where we see other people doing this and that. Oh, I'm going to do that too, right? Because we don't have a strong GPS, if you will, that actually gives us direction. We don't have a purpose. And that's why the first step, or the first pillar, before we talk about all these other ingredients or all these other important pillars that we need to have so that we can build our life, it's important. So the first step is, and this is what I do with my clients in my practice, is to really understand, who are you today? Everybody's different. Everybody's unique. So my coaching is personalized to the person I'm working with, because there is no cookie cutter, right, kind of thing. It's just like in education, you know. I don't really digress, but they're connected, because we don't have a great life because we don't teach people how to live a great life. We don't teach people how to build a great life. We emphasize what? We emphasize money. We emphasize, you got to work and work super hard, and neglect your family and your health, so that you can make more money, so that you can spend it on more things that you don't need because you don't have time to enjoy them. I say, take a step back and reanalyze and reflect on yourself, on your life. What is it that's working today and is not working today in your life? Right? So we start there. You need to analyze and do an assessment of yourself. Find your self-identity. Identity that's your own.
Right? And be honest with those answers. Because if you're not honest, it's not going to matter what sort of the assessment you do. You don't. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly, Erica. And that's a pity, right, Erica? Because it's your life. You need to manage it. Build a life you really want so you can be excited every day. But it takes hard work, Erica, right? It takes hard work. And you know what? Many people don't know what they may find when they go and reflect and become self-aware about some of the things they have lived or they put up with, right? Like if you ask, for example, I had one of my clients and I asked, he said, I don't have time to work out. I said, okay. Why don't you give me a schedule with everything you do for 7 days, from the time you wake up until you go to bed? Let's see how you spend your time, right? So we are not judging. We are coaches, right? We want to bring the best in people. I am a human potential and leadership coach. I want the best for the people I work with because I believe in them. I believe in their potential. And guess what? 7 days? I think the next day, she said that, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that yesterday I spent 3 hours on social media doing nothing. Voila, there you go. You don't have time. You make time for what's important to you. And of course, everything is connected here today, right? As we are chatting here together. So that's the first step. There is no part. You can't go to health and fitness and finances and work unless you understand the why behind it. If you stay in a job just for the salary, you have to know why. You can get out of there, right, and get a better job. You get a good salary, but you most likely enjoy it. So the pillars, health empowerment. And by the way, all these pillars are in my book. Why not you have to become empowered? So health empowerment is one of the pillars. What's there without health? Nothing is there without health. If we can enjoy our life, if we are not strong in our body and mind and spirit, we cannot make the best of our life. So the first one is the health empowerment. Career empowerment. You have to be empowered in your decisions and choices to pursue a career that has meaning. Next one is financial empowerment, wealth empowerment. You need to become financially literate. You cannot let other people tell you how to spend your money. You need to understand what a dollar means. That's financial empowerment. Relationship and family empowerment. Relationships. You need to be in relationships that value who you are and what you bring to the table. Not in a relationship because they satisfy your ego. That's where the confidence and self-empowerment comes in. Another one is spiritual empowerment, another pillar. We need to be spiritually connected somehow. This is different for everybody. We didn't have time to perhaps to talk about meditation, which is part of my practice. And you need to have purpose and intention and goals. These are the pillars for a great life. They are yours alone. Nobody can do this work for you if you want to own your life. You need to start with understanding who you are and look at your life, use that wheel of life coaching tool and give an assessment. Like Erica said, be honest with yourself. And based on what you find there, you set up some SMART goals. And with SMART goals, we have habits and intentions. And that's how you begin to live an empowering life.
And that is a perfect way to end our segment for today. And our episode for today. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Val. You have so much knowledge and your background. You're really a gift to the coaching world because you've lived it, right? And you've done a lot of it. So please, listeners, go out, take a look at her site and reach out for any questions that you have. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show today.
Erica, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I also want to thank you, our guests, our audience, for tuning in and believe in yourself. You have more power than you think. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that you do. Thank you also so much for tuning in to Get Rooted Radio. If you missed any part of today's episode or you want to listen again, go to getrootedradio.com for the podcast. And don't forget to tune in the first and third Monday of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific right here on Transformation Talk Radio. Thank you for tuning in. Have an amazing day. And I'm looking forward to the next time on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Visit getrootedradio.com if you've missed any part of this hit show, and tune in on transformationtalkradio.com to live fearlessly in your more and powerfully rooted in your unlimited yes. For more information and to work with Erica directly, visit getrootedradio.com. That's getrootedradio.com and get ready to live it up, love it up, and let it go.